My wife handed me a positive pregnancy test in our kitchen and said, "The baby needs stability. I need you to step up." I wasn't even home when she conceived, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me back up to that Tuesday evening, February 28th, our Pearl District condo in Portland. I just finished a 12-hour shift, 2 overdoses, 1 cardiac arrest, 3 transports. Standard Tuesday for a paramedic. I came through the door smelling like antiseptic and sweat, and Christine was sitting at our kitchen island with her hands folded. Too formal, too still. She slid something across the granite countertop. Purple plastic digital display. The words glowed white. Pregnant 3+ weeks. My first reaction? Joy. Pure, stupid joy. 18 years together, met her when I was 22, bringing a patient into the ER where she worked as a nurse. Married at 28, tried for kids for years, nothing took, and now at 40, here it was. Proof. A baby. I reached for her hand. "Christine, we need to talk." Her voice was cold, clinical, the way she'd sound explaining discharge instructions to a difficult patient. My hand froze halfway across the counter. "Okay." I pulled my hand back, sat down on the stool across from her. "Talk." She wouldn't look at me, just kept staring at that test like it was a specimen under glass. "The baby needs stability, Peter. A father who's present, committed." She finally met my eyes. "I need you to step up." Step up. The phrase sat wrong in my mouth, like I'd been failing some test I didn't know I was taking. "What do you mean, step up? I've been here. I've always been..." "Have you?" She stood, grabbed the test, held it against her chest. "You work 80-hour weeks. You're exhausted all the time. You smell like ambulances and trauma and..." She waved her hand, dismissive. "I need to know you're going to be the father this baby needs." Something in her tone, something off. I'm trained to read scenes, walk into chaos and assess what's really happening versus what people are telling you. And Christine's body language, she wasn't asking for reassurance. She was delivering a verdict. "Christine," my voice came out quiet, controlled. "Are you saying you don't think I'll be a good father?" "I'm saying I need you to step up and be the man this family needs." She turned toward the hallway. "I'm tired. We'll talk more later." She left me sitting there. The test sat on the counter between us. I picked it up. The plastic was smooth, almost clinical, so light in my hand, lighter than the weight of what it meant. There was still a faint chemical smell from the bathroom where she'd taken it. 3+ weeks pregnant. I did the math, pulled my phone, opened my calendar. 3 weeks ago, put conception around February 10th through 13th, maybe 14th. My stomach dropped. February 10th through 13th. I worked a 72-hour shift. Wildfire outbreak in the gorge. We slept on cots at the station. I didn't come home for 3 days. I sat there holding that test. The display still glowing. Pregnant, 3+ weeks. I wasn't even home. I need to tell you about the hospital gala, because that's when I started to see it. The thing I'd been ignoring for 2 years. November 18th, Metropolitan Hospital Foundation Winter Gala. Black tie required. Those words embossed in gold foil on thick cream cardstock. The invitation sat on our counter for weeks before the event. Every time I looked at it, my chest got tight. I'm a paramedic. Badge number 2847. 18 years with Portland Fire and Rescue. I save lives. I'm good at my job. But I don't fit at galas. I don't fit in a world where the invitation costs more than my work boots. Christine's the director of emergency services at Metropolitan Hospital now. Nurse practitioner. Worked her way up. And I'm proud of her. I paid for her NP program, worked 3 jobs so she could study full time, took every overtime shift available. She deserved that promotion. But that night, getting ready, I polished my paramedic badge. Habit. Part of my dress uniform for formal events, the navy blazer, the badge on the pocket. I set it on the bathroom counter while I put on my rented tux. Christine walked past, saw it. You're bringing that? It's part of my dress uniform. I thought, it's a gala, Peter, not a parade. She was doing her makeup, didn't even look at me. Just wear the tux. That's fine. Just the tux. That's fine. Like, I was fine, adequate, acceptable enough to not embarrass her. I put the badge back in my locker. The gala was exactly what I expected. 400 people in evening wear, doctors, administrators, board members, donor families with old money and summer homes. I stood next to Christine during the cocktail hour, holding a glass of wine I wasn't drinking while she networked. Someone asked what I did. Christine jumped in before I could answer. This is my husband, Peter. He's, a paramedic. That pause. That, like she had to search for the right word. Like paramedic wasn't quite enough. I watched her that night, really watched, the way she lit up talking to Dr. Gregory Hartman, the chief administrative officer, her boss, the way she laughed at his jokes, that comfortable, easy laugh. I hadn't heard her laugh like that with me in years. Gregory Hartman, mid-40s, MD/MBA, probably made in a year what I make in 5. Married. 2 adult kids. He stood too close to Christine during the speeches, his hand on the small of her back when they posed for photos. I told myself I was imagining it. 3 days later, I found that photo online. Metropolitan Hospital's website, gallery from the gala. Christine and Gregory standing together in front of the banner, his hand on her back, both of them looking at each other instead of the camera, looking at each other like they shared a secret the rest of us weren't in on, like I didn't exist. If you've ever been the person who doesn't fit in your partner's world, if you've ever felt invisible at their work events, you know that feeling. That slow realization that you're not part of their life. You're just adjacent to it. Back to that pregnancy test, February 28th, 3+ weeks pregnant. I couldn't sleep that night. Christine went to bed early. I sat in our living room with my laptop and pulled my shift schedule from the fire department portal. February 10th, February 11th, February 12th, February 13th. 72 consecutive hours, wildfire emergency, all hands response. I slept on a cot in the apparatus bay, ate vending machine sandwiches, responded to 14 calls in 3 days, smoke inhalation, burns, 1 critical transport via helicopter. I have the schedule right here. I printed it out. Thin computer paper, the kind that folds along pre-creased lines. My name highlighted in yellow marker. February 10th through 13th, circled in red. 72-hour shift, wildfire emergency. The official Portland Fire and Rescue stamp is embossed in the corner. You can feel it raised under your fingertip. 3+ weeks pregnant. That meant conception happened during those exact days when I was sleeping on a cot at the fire station. 20 minutes away from our condo. I'm a first responder. I'm trained to stay calm, assess, don't jump to conclusions. There could be an explanation. Maybe the test was wrong about timing. Maybe my math was off. Maybe my phone buzzed. Email sent from a Gmail account I didn't recognize. No subject line. I almost deleted it. Then I saw the attachment. PDF. Barrett Hartman HR confidential PDF. I opened it. 23 pages. I could smell the toner from fresh printing even though it was digital. Hospital letterhead. Metropolitan Hospital internal HR documentation. Some sections redacted with black bars, but I could read enough. Email chain dated October 15th, 4 months ago. From Hospital HR Director to Chief Medical Officer Dr. Stevens. Subject Barrett Hartman relationship, confidential HR review. Per your request, we have completed preliminary review of reported concerns regarding Director Christine Barrett and CAO Dr. Gregory Hartman. Several staff members have observed behavior that could be interpreted as inappropriately close. I scrolled down. My hands were shaking. The laptop screen blurred. Response from Dr. Stevens, Chief Medical Officer. Christine Barrett is a rising star in our organization. Dr. Gregory Hartman is essential to hospital strategy and donor relations. While this relationship may appear inappropriate to some staff, it does not rise to the level of actionable offense. Close investigation immediately. Do not document this formally. Verbal warning to both parties only. We cannot afford disruption during Q4 fundraising. They knew. 4 months ago, the hospital knew. Someone reported it. Multiple people saw it. And the chief medical officer buried it, protected them. Because doctors matter more than marriage vows. Because hospital strategy matters more than ethics. Do not document formally. But someone did. Someone with access to those emails sent them to me. Someone who thought I deserved to know. I sat there until 3 a.m, reading that email chain over and over. The pages made that distinctive sound when I scrolled, that digital version of paper shuffling, corporate language covering up betrayal, Christine Barrett and Gregory Hartman inappropriately close. Verbal warning only. The baby needs stability. I need you to step up. I confronted her the next morning, Thursday, March 1st. She was getting ready for work. I was supposed to start my shift at noon. I had the pregnancy test in one hand, my phone with that email chain in the other, and her leadership retreat name tag, the one I'd found in her work bag 2 weeks ago. The name tag. Plastic holder with an alligator clip. Director's Retreat. Napa Valley Leadership Institute, printed in corporate blue. Christine's name handwritten in marker below. The clip still had that spring tension, that satisfying mechanical click. I'd asked her about that retreat in January. How was Napa? Boring, admin stuff. PowerPoints about strategic planning. Boring, admin stuff. I held up the name tag. Tell me about Napa, Christine. She was brushing her teeth. She spit, rinsed, looked at me in the bathroom mirror. What? The leadership retreat. Napa Valley, last month. Tell me what happened there. Something flickered across her face. Calculation, then smooth denial. I already told you it was work. Strategy sessions, nothing exciting. Was Gregory Hartman there? Her hand stopped, toothbrush hovering. Yes, he's the CAO. Obviously he was at the director's retreat. And what exactly happens at a director's retreat? In wine country, what kind of strategic planning? She turned to face me. Peter, what is this about? I held up my phone, showed her the email subject line. Barrett Hartman relationship, confidential HR review. The color drained from her face, then came back red, anger, not shame. Who sent you that? That's confidential hospital. Is it true? My voice was quiet, controlled, the way I sound when I'm talking to someone in shock, keeping them calm while their world falls apart. Are you having an affair with your boss? Silence. She stared at me, then at the pregnancy test still sitting on the counter between us, then back at me. Peter, is it true? More silence, then it's complicated. Complicated, that's what she said. Complicated. I held up the pregnancy test. 3+ weeks. That's conception around February 10th through 13th. I worked a 72-hour shift those days. Wildfire outbreak, I slept on a cot at the station. My voice started to crack. I forced it steady. I wasn't even home, Christine, so tell me, is the baby mine? She looked away, looked at the floor, at the wall, anywhere but at me. Does it matter? Her voice was so quiet, you'd be a good father regardless. Does it matter? I wasn't quiet anymore. Is the baby mine? No. She said it like she was reporting a lab result, clinical, detached. No, Peter, it's Gregory's baby, but that doesn't mean... Get out! Peter, listen. Get out of this bathroom, now. She left, closed the door. I heard her footsteps in the hallway. I sat down on the bathroom floor, back against the wall. The pregnancy test was still on the counter. Purple plastic, digital display, pregnant. Not mine, never mine. She came back an hour later. I was sitting at the kitchen island, same spot where she'd handed me that test. She sat down across from me, folded her hands, that formal posture again. "We need to talk," she said. "Yeah, we do." "I didn't plan this, Peter. I didn't plan to fall for Gregory. It just happened. He understands me. He's in my world. The hospital, the galas, the medical conferences. We speak the same language." "And I don't?" "You're a paramedic, Peter." She said it gently, like she was breaking bad news to a patient. "A good one. You save lives. I respect that. But Gregory and we're equals. Same level, same education, same tax bracket?" She flinched. "That's not fair." "None of this is fair, Christine. You had an affair, you got pregnant, and you looked me in the eye and told me to step up. Like I was the one failing, like I was the problem." "You work 80-hour weeks, Peter. You're exhausted. You smell like ambulances. You don't fit at hospital events. You never learned how to network, how to what? How to be ashamed of my job? How to pretend I'm something I'm not?" I stood up. "I paid for your MP program, Christine. I worked 3 jobs, took every overtime shift, 70, 80, 90-hour weeks so you could study full-time, so you could get that degree, that promotion, so you could move up in your world. And I appreciate that. Do you? Because from where I'm standing, you're telling me I'm not good enough, that my job's not good enough, that I don't fit your life, your world." My voice dropped. "Did you ever love me? Or was I just useful? The guy who paid the bills while you climbed the ladder?" She didn't answer, just looked at me with something like pity. That's what broke me. Not the affair, not the baby, the pity. "Gregory is in my world, Peter." She said it so matter-of-fact, so final. "Galas, medical conferences, hospital board meetings. You're a good man. You save lives, but you don't fit my life anymore. You haven't for a while." I felt like I'd been shot, like I'd taken a bullet to the chest and was trying to stay conscious while my blood pressure dropped. The woman I worked 3 jobs to support, the woman I'd loved since I was 22, the woman I thought I'd grow old with. She just told me I don't fit her life because I'm just a paramedic. Christine moved out that weekend, stayed with her mother, which meant I had to deal with Barbara Barrett. Barbara showed up at our condo Monday morning. I was on a rare day off. Hadn't slept more than 2 hours. I answered the door in sweatpants and a fire department t-shirt, and there she was. 65 years old, widow of Dr. Richard Barrett, cardiac surgeon, designer handbag that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage. That look on her face, the one I'd seen for 18 years. The look that said I was never quite good enough for her daughter. "Peter, we need to talk." She didn't wait for an invitation. Just walked into my living room, Christine's living room I guess it was now, and sat on the couch like she owned it. Set her handbag down. The leather made that expensive sound against the coffee table, soft, rich. I poured coffee, handed her a mug, sat across from her in the chair. "Christine told me everything," Barbara said, "about the pregnancy, about Gregory, about your reaction." My reaction. I kept my voice flat. "You mean the part where I discovered my wife's baby isn't mine? That reaction?" "I mean the part where you threw her out without even trying to work through this." "I didn't throw her out. She left after telling me I don't fit her life, that I'm not in her world, that I'm just..." I stopped, breathed. She left. Barbara sipped her coffee, set it down with that precise control wealthy people have, every movement intentional, measured. "Peter, you're a good man. You've always been adequate, hardworking, loyal." She leaned forward. "But you need to be realistic. Christine has built an incredible career, director of emergency services at one of the best hospitals in the Northwest. She's being considered for VP positions. She moves in circles that require a certain presentation. Presentation? You're a paramedic, Peter." She said it gently, like she was breaking difficult news. Christine is a nurse practitioner, soon to be an administrator. Be realistic about what you can offer her that matches what she's built. There it was, what I'd been feeling for years, but nobody had said out loud. Until Christine said it last week. Until now. I'm not enough. My job's not enough. I don't make enough money. I don't have the right degree. I don't fit. So what are you saying? My voice came out quieter than I meant. That I should just accept this? Raise Gregory's baby? Pretend everything's fine? I'm saying that if you love her, truly love her, you'll think about what's best for the family, for Christine's career, for the baby. Barbara picked up her coffee again. You'll step up and be the man Christine needs, the father this baby needs, instead of being selfish. Selfish. That word hit like a slap. I'd worked 3 jobs to put Christine through her NP program, took every overtime shift so she could study, paid off her student loans before mine, skipped sleep, skipped meals, skipped my own health so she could build her career. And I was selfish. Get out! I stood up. Take your coffee, take your expensive handbag, and get out of my home. Peter. Now. She left. But that word stayed. Selfish. And worse, that question. What can you really offer her? I didn't have an answer. Standing there in my living room, in sweatpants and my faded fire department shirt, in the condo I could barely afford, looking at the life we'd built together that apparently wasn't enough. Maybe Barbara was right. Maybe I'd never been enough. Maybe Christine had been settling all along. I hired a private investigator. Mike Sullivan, my union rep at the fire department, gave me the contact. Guy named David Chen, former cop, specialized in infidelity cases. We met at a diner Tuesday afternoon before my evening shift. David was late 40s, wore a worn leather jacket, carried a manila folder that had seen better days. He slid the folder across the table. Your wife and Dr. Hartman, he said. I've been on this for a week, since you called. I opened the folder, photos, printouts, timeline documents. The Napa Valley Leadership Institute retreat. David pointed to a brochure. January 20th through 23rd. It's not just strategic planning. It's a couples-focused executive bonding program, wine tastings, spa treatments, couples hiking, romantic dinners. The hospital sends executives and their spouses. But Christine's not married to Gregory. No, but they registered as partners, shared a room. Here's the hotel receipt. He slid it over. 1 king suite, 4 nights, charged to the hospital's corporate account. I stared at that receipt. The paper was smooth, standard hotel inkjet printing, but the numbers were clear. 1 room, not 2. There's more. David pulled out another stack. Insurance records. I have a contact at Metropolitan's billing department. 8 months ago, June of last year, Christine Barrett underwent a termination procedure. Same medical group as her current OB. My vision tunneled. What? She was pregnant before, Peter, with Hartman's baby. She terminated it. This is pregnancy number 2. The diner noise faded, the clatter of dishes, the conversations. Everything went quiet except my heartbeat in my ears. She'd been pregnant before, with his baby, had an abortion, and now she was pregnant again. This wasn't some accident, some mistake. This was a pattern. And there's something else. David pulled out one more document. Nurse named Jennifer Walsh. She worked at Metropolitan Hospital, ER department. 3 years ago, 2022, she had an 8-month affair with Dr. Gregory Hartman. It ended when she reported him to HR for inappropriate conduct. What happened? Hospital paid her $75,000, made her sign an NDA, transferred her to a satellite clinic in Gresham, quietly, no formal documentation. I found her. She'll talk if you need her to. I stared at those papers. The folder was heavy with evidence, proof, pattern. Christine wasn't Gregory's first conquest. She was just the newest fool who thought she was special. Your wife chose this, Peter. David's voice was quiet, professional. Multiple times. This wasn't an accident. This was a choice. I sat there holding that folder. The manila envelope was worn at the edges. You could feel where other hands had gripped it, where other lives had been documented, filed, archived. My marriage was now just another case file. I couldn't tell Emma, not yet. Emma, my daughter, well, our daughter. Christina and I adopted her when she was 2 months old. She's 14 now, 8th grade at Lincoln High, science club president, wants to be a paramedic like her dad, or she did, before all this. Emma stayed with Christine at Barbara's house that week. I saw her Saturday morning when I picked her up for our standing breakfast tradition, pancakes at Original Pancake House on Sandy Boulevard. We'd been doing this since she was 5. She was quiet in the car. Unusual for Emma. She's normally a chatterbox. Tells me about school, about her friends, about the latest science project. You okay, Em? Yeah. She stared out the window. Mom said you guys are taking some space. Taking some space. That's what Christine called it. Yeah, we are. Is it because of the baby? My hands tightened on the steering wheel. You know about the baby? Mom told me. She said you're upset, that you're not ready, that you need time to adjust. Adjust to raising another man's baby, to accepting that my wife had an affair, to pretending everything was fine. Emma, it's more complicated than that. Adults always say that. She turned to look at me, 14 years old, my little girl. Except she wasn't little anymore. She was sharp, observant, her mother's intelligence with none of her mother's coldness. Dad, what's really going on? I couldn't tell her, not in the car, not before pancakes, not when she was already dealing with her parents' separation. We'll talk about it, I promise, but not today, okay? Today let's just have pancakes and be normal for a couple hours. She nodded, but I could see it in her eyes. She knew something was wrong, really wrong. We had our pancakes, talked about school, about her science fair project, something involving plant growth and LED lights. She'd won first place 2 years ago, biology. I took her out for ice cream after. We had a photo, Emma holding her trophy, me standing next to her, both of us grinning. That trophy sits on our shelf at home now, gold plastic with a faux marble base. First place, biology, Lincoln Middle School, engraved on the plate. Christine hadn't come to that science fair. Emergency meeting at the hospital, she said, but there was always an emergency meeting, always a conference call, always something more important than showing up for Emma. I was the one who showed up. Every science fair, every parent-teacher conference, every awards ceremony. Me in my paramedic uniform coming straight from shift, still smelling like antiseptic. While Christine was at hospital galas with Gregory Hartman. Emma finished her pancakes. We were splitting the check. She always insisted on paying half with her allowance when her phone buzzed. Text message. She glanced at it. Her face went still. What is it? Nothing. Just, Mom checking in. But something about the way she said it, the way she wouldn't look at me. Em? Dad, does Grandma Barbara not like you? The question hit sideways. What? Why would you ask that? I heard her talking to Mom last night at the house. I was in the hallway. I wasn't trying to eavesdrop. She picked at her napkin. Grandma said you were adequate but not her equal. She said Mom needed to be realistic about what you could offer. That you're just a paramedic. Just a paramedic. My daughter heard that, heard her grandmother, heard her mother talk about me like I was less than, like my job was something to be ashamed of. Emma, why does Grandma think she's better than you? Emma's voice cracked. Why does Mom? You save people, Dad, every day. You literally save lives. How is that not enough? I didn't have an answer, just sat there in that diner booth. My 14-year-old daughter staring at me with tears in her eyes, asking why her mother thought her father wasn't good enough. Mike Sullivan found me Monday night at the station. I was in the apparatus bay, running equipment checks on the ambulance. Mindless work, therapeutic. Mike's 52, union rep for Portland Fire and Rescue, former Marine. Built like someone who still hits the gym every day. He dropped into the chair next to my workstation. Donovan, Sully, heard about your situation with your wife. Word travels fast in the fire department. We're a family, a dysfunctional, gossipy family, but a family. Yeah, it's a mess. You filing for divorce? Probably. I don't know. Still processing. Mike was quiet for a minute, then, you know what this is, right? What she's doing to you? Cheating on me with her boss? Class warfare, brother. He leaned forward. This is bigger than you. This is the medical establishment versus working people like us. Your wife climbed the ladder, got her fancy degree, started making doctor money, and suddenly you, the guy who paid for that degree, who supported her, who worked his ass off, suddenly you're not good enough because you're a paramedic, because you work for a living with your hands instead of a laptop. I don't think it's that simple. It's exactly that simple. Hospital covered up her affair. You see that HR email? Chief Medical Officer buried the investigation. Why? Because she's a director. Because Hartman's the CAO. Because doctors protect doctors. They don't give a damn about marriage or ethics or right and wrong. They care about hierarchy. And you, paramedic, union guy, working class, you're at the bottom of their hierarchy. I wanted to argue, but I couldn't, because he was right. You got a choice here, Peter. Mike stood up. You can take this quietly, get your divorce, walk away, let them sweep it under the rug like they always do. Or you can file that ethics complaint with the Oregon Medical Board, force an investigation, make the hospital answer for protecting them, make them pay. If I do that, I'm going to war with the entire medical establishment, Metropolitan Hospital, the board, Christine's whole world. Yeah, you are. Mike put his hand on my shoulder. But sometimes working guys like us gotta stand up, not just for ourselves, for all of us. Show them they can't just throw us away when we stop being useful. He left me sitting there in the apparatus bay. Ambulance half checked, choice unmade. So here's where I had to choose, and I want to know what you would do. If you were me, would you keep it quiet, take the divorce, and move on? Type quiet in the comments. Or would you file that ethics complaint, expose the whole hospital cover-up, burn it all down? Type expose. What would you do? I know. Both choices have consequences. Keep it quiet. You protect your daughter from public scandal. Maybe salvage some dignity. Maybe heal faster. Expose it. You risk everything. Hospital will come after you. Christine's family will destroy you. Your daughter will watch it all play out publicly. Here's what I chose. But first, I broke. Tuesday night, 2 a.m. I couldn't sleep. Went to the station even though I wasn't on shift. Just needed to be somewhere familiar. Somewhere that made sense. I sat in the apparatus bay. The ambulance we just restocked sat next to me, equipment gleaming under the fluorescent lights. I reached into my locker, pulled out the small velvet box I keep in the back. My Valor Medal, bronze, 2 inches diameter, Portland Fire and Rescue emblem on the front, for Valor engraved on the back. The ribbon is purple and gold, silk-like texture. When you hold it up, the metal swings with this satisfying weight. There's slight tarnish now, 5 years of sitting in that box. I can feel the rough oxidation under my fingertip. I got this medal 5 years ago, April 9th, 2020. Structure fire on Northeast Killingsworth. Family trapped on the second floor. Father, mother, 3 kids, ages 6, 8, and 10. Flames blocking the stairwell. Smoke so thick you couldn't see your hand in front of your face. I went in, found them in the back bedroom. Father had gotten the kids low under the smoke. Smart. But they were running out of time. I got all 5 out. carried the 6-year-old, guided the others, made 3 trips. Last trip, the roof started to collapse. I made it out with the 10-year-old 30 seconds before the second floor went. Captain Rosa gave me the medal at a ceremony. Said I'd saved 5 lives that night. Said that's what heroes do. Run toward danger when everyone else runs away. I saved 5 lives that night, but I wasn't enough for my wife. I sat there at 2 in the morning, turning that medal over in my hands. Cold bronze, heavy, 20 years of service, 18 years as a paramedic, hundreds of saves, thousands of calls. And I was just a paramedic. Just adequate, just not good enough. Rosa found me crying. Captain Rosa Delgado, 44, my direct supervisor, fierce, competent, the kind of leader who'll go to war for her crew. She sat down next to me on the ambulance bumper. Didn't say anything, just sat there while I tried to pull myself together. Sorry, Captain, I'm okay. Donovan, shut up. She took the medal from my hands, looked at it. This what I think it is? Yeah. Tell me. Rosa, I'm fine. Tell me what's going on. That's an order. So I told her. Everything. Christine, Gregory, the baby, the affair, the hospital cover-up, Barbara's visit, Emma overhearing, Mike's advice, and then I told her the part that was killing me. Rosa, am I less than doctors? Christine's mom said I'm just a paramedic. Christine said I don't fit her world. I worked 3 jobs. I took every extra shift. I paid for everything so she could build her career. And it still wasn't enough. I'm still just an ambulance driver who embarrasses her at parties. My voice cracked. I couldn't stop it. Rosa was quiet for a long time. Then she grabbed my shoulders, made me look at her. Peter, listen to me. You brought 47 people back from the dead last year. I counted. 47 cardiac arrests. 47 people who went home to their families because of you. You trained 12 new recruits in the last 3 years. They worship you. You're the first person they call when they don't know what to do on a scene. But you're not just anything. Her voice was fierce, hard. You run into buildings when they're on fire. You pull people out of crashed cars. You hold someone's hand while they die because their family isn't there yet. You're not just a paramedic, Peter. You're a goddamn hero. And if your wife can't see that, if she thinks a fancy degree and a corner office matter more than what you do every single day, then she's blind. And that's her loss, brother, not yours. I couldn't talk. Just sat there with my captain's hands on my shoulders, trying not to completely fall apart. But God help me, Rosa, I almost believed her. Almost believed Christine. Almost believed I was just less. That I didn't matter. That my work didn't matter. Well, you're wrong. And she's wrong. And anyone who tells you that your job, that your life, is worth less than some corporate administrator who pushes papers and plays golf? Rosa let go of my shoulders, stood up. They can go straight to hell. She handed me back my medal. Get some sleep, Donovan. You got a decision to make, and whatever you choose, I got your back. The whole crew's got your back. She left me sitting there. The medal felt heavier now, not with shame, with something else. Purpose. I went home Wednesday morning. Emma was there. She'd taken the Max train from Barbara's house, waiting on my front steps. Em, what are you doing here? Does your mom know? I left, told her I was going to school, came here instead. She stood up. We need to talk, Dad. We went inside. I made coffee. Emma sat at the kitchen island, same spot where her mother had handed me that pregnancy test 12 days ago. Felt like 12 years. Emma's backpack was on the floor next to her. She reached in, pulled out something wrapped in tissue paper. My science fair trophy, the one from her shelf at the condo, gold plastic, hollow sound when you move it, 10 inches tall, faux marble base with her name engraved, Emma Donovan, first place, biology. Why'd you bring that? Because I was looking at it this morning, at Grandma's, and I remembered. Her voice was thick. You took me out for ice cream after the fair. We got mint chocolate chip. We took that stupid selfie with the trophy. You posted it on Facebook with like 1,000,000 heart emojis. I was proud of you. Mom didn't come. Emma set the trophy on the counter. She said she had an emergency meeting, a conference call, something critical at the hospital. But Dad, she's never come to any of my science fairs. Not one. Not in 3 years. I didn't know what to say. I heard her last night on the phone with Grandma. About you, about the baby, about... She stopped, took a breath. About how you're adequate, but you're not her equal. How Gregory is better for her. How you don't fit her world. Emma, why does she think she's better than you? My daughter's voice cracked. Tears started. You've always been there, Dad. Every science fair, every parent-teacher conference, every awards ceremony, you show up. Even when you're exhausted. Even when you've worked a double shift, you show up for me. She shows up for galas and conferences and Gregory freaking Hartman. And somehow you're not enough? You don't fit her world? She was crying now, full tears. I came around the counter, pulled her into a hug. Mom didn't even come to this. She grabbed the trophy. You did. You've always shown up. You've always chosen me. She's choosing him, choosing her career, choosing everything except us. And then she expects you to step up, to raise his baby after everything? I held my daughter while she cried, my chest tight, that trophy sitting between us. Evidence of years of Christine's absence, years of my presence, physical proof of who showed up and who didn't. When Emma finally pulled back, she did something I didn't expect. She went to my jacket, hanging by the door, reached into the pocket, pulled out the velvet box with my Valor medal. She opened it, took out the medal. The bronze caught the light, purple and gold ribbon, and she pinned it to her own shirt. Tell me about this, she said. You don't need to... Tell me, Dad. So I told her about the fire, about the family, about carrying the 6-year-old out, about the roof collapsing 30 seconds after I got the last kid out, about Captain Rosa giving me the medal, about what valor means. When I finished, Emma looked down at the medal on her chest. Mom was at a hospital gala that night, wasn't she? When you got this. Yeah. How did you... Because you texted her. I saw it in your old messages once. You sent her a picture from the ambulance after you got checked out. You were covered in soot. You wrote, got them all out. Family's safe. Pretty intense. And she wrote back the next morning. Just said congrats with a period. No emoji, no nothing. Just congrats with a period. I'd forgotten about that text. But Emma was right. That's exactly what Christine wrote. Congrats. You're my hero, Dad. Emma's voice was fierce. Not because of this medal, because you've always chosen me. Always chosen us. She didn't. That's on her, not you. You're not just a paramedic. You're my dad. You save people. That matters. You matter. She kept the medal pinned to her shirt, sat there wearing it. My 14-year-old daughter, choosing me, validating me, seeing what her mother couldn't see. I wasn't just a paramedic. I was her father, and that mattered. Thursday morning, March 8th, I filed the paperwork, Oregon Family Court, petition for dissolution of marriage, 52 pages, blue-backed legal document with the official seal embossed on the cover, heavy cream paper stock, the kind that makes that distinctive sound when you unfold it, the weight of finality in your hands. My attorney was Rebecca Chen, Mike Sullivan's recommendation, 43, sharp, former prosecutor turned family law. She'd seen everything. Nothing shocked her anymore. You're sure about this? Rebecca asked. We were in her office, downtown Portland, rain streaming down the windows. Once we serve these papers, especially where you want to serve them, there's no going back. I'm sure. And the ethics complaint with the Oregon Medical Board? I slid the second packet across her desk, white pages, blue ink signatures where I'd signed that morning, official Oregon Medical Board letterhead with the state seal, certified mail receipt attached with that glossy green return card. Already filled out, just needs to be filed. Rebecca read through it. The complaint detailed everything: the affair, the hospital HR cover-up, Dr. Stevens burying the investigation, the previous victim, Jennifer Walsh, with her NDA, the pattern of institutional protection, Gregory Hartman's abuse of his position as CAO, Christine's complicity as a director. This is nuclear, Peter. The hospital board will have to investigate once this hits the medical board. They can't sweep it under the rug anymore. Good. Metropolitan Hospital will come after you. They'll try to discredit you, paint you as a bitter ex-husband. They'll say it's personal, not professional. It is personal, and it's professional. He's her boss. They covered it up. That's an ethics violation no matter how you frame it. Rebecca leaned back, studied me. Most people in your position take the quiet route. Get the divorce. Move on. Don't poke the bear. I'm not most people. No. She smiled slightly. You're not. Okay, let's poke the bear. Where do you want the divorce papers served? Metropolitan Hospital, her office, during business hours. Rebecca's smile got wider. Oh, you're definitely poking the bear. I like it. When? Tomorrow, Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. She'll be there, probably in a meeting with her staff. Brutal, effective. I'll arrange it. Rebecca gathered the documents, and the ethics complaint gets filed today via certified mail. Medical board receives it Monday. Hospital board will know by Tuesday. How long until consequences? For the complaint, medical board takes 30 days to review. But once they open an investigation, hospital board will act immediately. They'll suspend both of them pending review. Standard procedure. Can't have sitting executives under active investigation. I nodded. 30 days, 1 month. Christine and Gregory would have 30 days of wondering when the axe would fall. Good. Friday afternoon, 3 p.m. I was at the station. Captain Rosa let me hide in her office, watch my phone. The process server texted at 3:14 p.m. Papers delivered. Target located in ER break room. 3 nurses and 1 attending physician present as witnesses. Subject accepted service. Appeared shocked. 3 nurses, 1 doctor, witnesses. The whole hospital would know by 4 p.m. My phone rang at 3:47 p.m. Christine. I let it go to voicemail. She called again at 3:52 p.m., again at 4:01 p.m., at 4:15 p.m. I turned my phone off. Gregory called my work line at 4:38 p.m. Captain Rosa transferred it to her office. I picked up. Peter. His voice was smooth, controlled, CEO voice, the voice he probably used in board meetings. We need to talk, man to man. No, we don't. I understand you're upset. You have every right to be. But this doesn't need to be public. We can work something out. Financial arrangements, support for Christine and the baby, whatever you need to make this less difficult. You're offering me money? I'm offering to handle this like adults, quietly, for everyone's sake, for Emma's sake. Emma's sake. He was using my daughter. Let me tell you what's going to happen, Gregory. My voice was flat, cold, the voice I use on scenes when I'm telling someone hard truth. You're going to hang up this phone. You're going to go home to your wife. And you're going to wait, because in about 3 business days, the Oregon Medical Board is going to open an investigation into your conduct. And Metropolitan Hospitals Board is going to receive notification, and then you're going to answer for what you did. Silence on the line. You filed an ethics complaint. Not a question. Statement. Yes. Peter, you're going to war with the hospital. With me. With Christine's entire career. Do you understand what you're doing? I understand perfectly. You abused your position. The hospital covered for you. You've done this before. Jennifer Walsh, 2022, $75,000 NDA. This is who you are, and I'm done staying quiet about it. More silence. Then, we can work something out. Money. I hung up. Captain Rosa was leaning against her desk, arms crossed. Feel good? Yeah, it did. She grinned. Good. Now, get some sleep, Donovan. You're going to need it. Storm's coming. The storm came from an unexpected direction. Saturday morning, 10 a.m. My doorbell rang. I opened it expecting Christine, maybe Barbara, maybe a lawyer. Instead, Elizabeth Hartman stood on my doorstep. Gregory's wife, 44 years old. Old money. Her family founded Hartman Industries, timber and shipping, Northwest fortune going back 3 generations. She sat on Metropolitan Hospital's foundation board, major donor, power player. She wore a camel coat that probably cost more than my truck, designer handbag, diamond wedding ring that could probably pay off my mortgage. "Mr. Donovan, may I come in?" I stepped aside. She walked into my living room with the confidence of someone used to being in charge. Set her handbag on my coffee table, same expensive leather sound as Barbara's. "I apologize for the intrusion. I wanted to speak with you before this gets more complicated." "Mrs. Hartman, I'm not sure what we have to discuss." "Elizabeth, please." She sat on my couch, uninvited, comfortable. "And we have quite a bit to discuss. Your wife's affair with my husband, the baby, the ethics complaint you filed with the medical board." "How do you know about—" "I'm on the foundation board, Peter. May I call you Peter?" She didn't wait for an answer. "I have friends in hospital administration. They called me yesterday after your complaint was filed. Professional courtesy, warning me that my husband's about to be investigated." "I'm sorry you're involved in this." "Don't be." Her voice was cold, cutting. "I've known about Gregory's affairs for years. This isn't his first, won't be his last. Jennifer Walsh was just the one who got paid off. There have been others." I sat down. "Others." 4 that I know of, probably more. Elizabeth opened her handbag, pulled out her phone. "I've been documenting everything for 3 years, waiting for the right time to file my own divorce, gathering evidence, making sure when I leave him, I take everything." She turned her phone toward me, recording app, list of files, dates going back to 2022. These are recordings of Gregory admitting to his affairs, bragging about them actually, to his golf buddies, to his brother. He thinks I don't know, but I've been recording him for years. She scrolled through the files. Here's one from January, right after the Napa retreat. She pressed play. Gregory's voice, drunk, laughing. "Christine's perfect, ambitious, knows how to play the game. And the best part? Her husband's just a paramedic. Blue-collar guy, never had a chance once she met me." Just a paramedic. Blue-collar guy, never had a chance. Elizabeth stopped the recording. "I have 17 hours of recordings like that. Admissions, details, proof of multiple affairs over 5 years. Hospital knew about most of them, covered them up. Because Gregory brings in donor money. Because he's connected. Because in their world, marriage vows matter less than fundraising targets." I couldn't speak, just stared at this woman I'd never met, who'd been living in the same hell I was just discovering. "I want to help you, Peter." Elizabeth's voice was eerily calm. "Not because I like you, I don't know you, but because I'm done watching my husband destroy marriages and careers while the hospital protects him. I'm done being the dutiful wife who looks the other way." "What are you proposing?" "I testify. I provide my recordings to the medical board investigation. I file my own ethics complaint detailing the pattern of behavior. And I use my position on the foundation board to pressure hospital administration. They protect Gregory. I pull my family's donations. $10 million over the next 5 years. They'll listen to that." "Why now? Why help me?" "Because when I heard he'd gotten your wife pregnant..." Elizabeth's mask cracked slightly. Emotion bled through. "I can't have children, Peter. Medical condition. Gregory knows that. He knows every affair, every pregnancy, every time he creates a family with someone else. It destroys me. And he doesn't care. He's done this 3 times now. Christine had an abortion 8 months ago. Did you know that?" "I found out this week." "She was pregnant with Gregory's baby, terminated it, and now she's pregnant again. And he's thrilled. Because it's not with me. It's never with me. Her voice shook. I've spent 20 years trying to be enough for him, enough money, enough connections, enough social standing. And I'm not. I'm never enough. The words hit like an echo. I'm never enough. That's what I'd been feeling, what Barbara made me feel, what Christine made me feel. Elizabeth composed herself, cleared her throat. So, yes, I'll help you burn it all down. Hospital protects him, not when the foundation board president is done with him. And Peter? She looked me straight in the eye. You're not alone in this. Not anymore. The dominoes started falling Tuesday morning. Oregon Medical Board sent notification to Metropolitan Hospital. Formal investigation opened into Dr. Gregory Hartman and Director Christine Barrett regarding ethics violations, abuse of supervisory position, and institutional cover-up. Hospital Board held an emergency session Tuesday afternoon. Elizabeth Hartman attended. So did 3 other board members she called personally. She told me later what happened. Board voted 7-3 to suspend Gregory Hartman from his CAO position pending investigation, suspend Christine Barrett from her director role, or reassign her to staff position, launch internal audit of all HR complaints involving executive staff from the past 5 years. The 3 who voted against were the ones Gregory played golf with, the ones who benefited from his donor connections. They lost. Wednesday morning, the news broke. Channel 12 first, then the Portland Tribune, then the Oregonian. Metropolitan Hospital CAO resigns amid ethics investigation. Gregory didn't resign voluntarily. He was forced out. The hospital gave him the option, resign now with a severance package and NDA, or be fired publicly and lose everything. He took the resignation. Christine wasn't given the option, just demoted, reassigned, pay cut, no more director title, no more corner office, back to being a staff NP in the ER. The news coverage was brutal, not because of details, the hospital kept most of it quiet, but because reporters dug, found Jennifer Walsh, found 2 other former employees who'd signed NDAs. Suddenly, this wasn't just about one affair. This was about institutional corruption, pattern of abuse, hospital protecting executives while silencing victims. The medical blog forums exploded. Physicians and nurses sharing their own stories about hospital administrations covering up misconduct, about the hierarchy that protected some people while throwing others away. My phone wouldn't stop ringing, reporters wanting statements, hospital lawyers wanting to clarify the situation, union guys calling to say they had my back. I ignored most of them, gave one statement to the Portland Tribune. I filed an ethics complaint because powerful people were protected while marriages were destroyed and victims were silenced. The hospital knew. They chose to cover it up. I'm grateful the medical board is holding them accountable. That's all I said. Let the evidence speak. Let the pattern speak. Christine called me Thursday evening. I answered this time. Peter. Her voice was hollow, defeated. Can we talk? Talk. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't know it would. You didn't know what? That actions have consequences? That hospitals don't protect you forever? That I'd actually stand up for myself? Silence. I lost everything, Peter. My director position, my salary, my reputation. Everyone at the hospital knows. Everyone's talking about me. I can't even walk into the break room without people staring. Good. Peter, you made choices, Christine. You chose Gregory. You chose the affair. You chose to get pregnant twice. You chose to tell me to step up and raise his baby like I was some kind of backup plan. You chose all of it. These are just consequences. What about the baby? What happens to... Elizabeth Hartman is arranging a private adoption. She can't have kids. Sees this as some kind of redemptive opportunity. The baby will go to a good family. Elizabeth's setting up an education trust. The baby will be taken care of. More silence then. You and Elizabeth are working together. Yeah. We are. Turns out your boss, your boyfriend, has destroyed a lot of marriages. We decided to stop him. I'm pregnant, Peter. I'm alone. I have no job security. My mother won't speak to me. Emma won't return my calls. And you and I, what? I'm supposed to feel sorry for you? You looked me in the eye and told me I don't fit your life, that I'm just a paramedic, that Gregory is in your world and I'm not. You made your choice. I was wrong. I was so wrong. I see that now. You see it now because you lost, because the hospital turned on you, because Gregory threw you under the bus to save himself. You don't regret what you did, Christine. You regret getting caught. I could hear her crying. Part of me, the part that loved her for 18 years, wanted to comfort her. But the rest of me, the part that remembered Barbara's words and Christine's dismissal and Emma's tears, that part stayed hard. Goodbye, Christine. I hung up. Life moved forward, slowly, painfully, but forward. The divorce finalized in May. Oregon's a no-fault state, but adultery affects spousal support. Christine got nothing. The condo was in my name. I'd bought it before we married. She moved in with Barbara permanently. Emma stayed with me, full custody. Christine got supervised visitation twice a month. Emma went once, then refused to go again. I can't look at her, Dad, Emma said. Every time I see her, I just remember everything she said about you, everything she chose over us. I didn't push. Emma was 14, old enough to make that choice. The baby was born in August, girl. 7 pounds, 4 ounces, healthy. Elizabeth kept her word. Private adoption arranged through her attorney, family in Seattle, professionals vetted, good people. Elizabeth set up an education trust, full ride to any college, graduate school included. That baby would be okay. Christine signed away parental rights. So did Gregory. Gregory and Elizabeth separated in June, divorce pending. Elizabeth told me she felt lighter than she had in years. I spent 20 years trying to be enough for him, she said. We'd gotten coffee a few times, not dating, just survivors comparing notes. I'm done trying to be enough for people who don't deserve me. I understood that. I started a mentoring program at the fire department for new recruits, for young paramedics trying to find their footing. Captain Rosa supported it. The union funded it. You're good at this, Rosa said. Teaching, leading. You should think about moving up, Lieutenant, maybe Captain someday. Maybe. Right now I just want to help kids who are where I was, 22 years old. No idea what they're doing, just trying to save lives and hoping that matters. It matters, Donovan. Don't ever forget that. I wouldn't. Not anymore. Emma decided she wanted to be an EMT, not a doctor, not a nurse, an EMT like her dad. I want to save lives, she said, but I want to do it the right way, the way you do it, not in a hospital office, not at galas, in an ambulance, on the street, where it matters. I'd never been more proud. September 23rd, fire station open house. We do it every year. Community outreach. Show elementary school kids the ambulances, the engines, teach them about fire safety. Make the job real for them. Emma volunteered to help, wore her Lincoln High t-shirt and pinned to her chest my Valor Medal. She'd asked if she could wear it, told her yes. 30 kids showed up, second and third graders from Rosa Parks Elementary. Wide eyes, excited questions. The apparatus bay smelled like fresh coffee in anticipation. Emma led the tour, confident, poised, 14 years old and totally in her element. This is my dad, Mr. Donovan. She pointed at me. I stood next to the ambulance in my dress uniform, badge polished. He's a paramedic. He saves people's lives every day. A little girl raised her hand, maybe 7 years old. Is that hard? Emma looked at me, then back at the kids. Yeah, it's really hard, but he does it anyway. That's what heroes do. She touched the medal on her chest. They don't do it for fancy titles or big paychecks or awards. They do it because it matters, because people matter. My dad matters. And what he does every single day, that matters more than anything. The kids applauded. I had to look away for a second, blink hard. Through the apparatus bay window, I saw someone standing in the parking lot, watching Christine. She stood alone, isolated, 20 yards away, but might as well have been miles. She was watching Emma, watching me, watching the life she'd walked away from. She caught my eye, mouthed something. I'm sorry. Emma saw her too. My daughter glanced at Christine, then turned back to the kids. Come on, I'll show you the ambulance. My dad's going to teach you about the equipment, about how we save lives. The kids followed Emma, excited chatter, questions, energy. I put my arm around my daughter's shoulders. She leaned into me. The metal caught the light, bronze and purple and gold, symbol of valor, of honor, of showing up when it matters. Christine stood in that parking lot for another minute. Then she turned, walked to her car, drove away. Emma and I walked toward the ambulance together. The kids gathered around. Captain Rosa joined us, Mike Sullivan, the whole crew, my family, the one I'd chosen, the one that showed up. I didn't look back. Peter and Emma redefined what family means. Not who you're born to, but who shows up. If you've built your own chosen family, the friends who became family, the colleagues who had your back, the people who saw your worth when others didn't, tell me about them in the comments. I want to hear those stories. And if this story moved you, if Peter's journey resonated, subscribe. I tell stories about people who find their worth when the world tries to take it away. I'll see you in the next one.